What if today were your last day on Earth? Would you panic? Would you fight desperately against the inevitable? Or could you face it with calm acceptance, as if death were not an enemy, but a natural companion? 2,000 years ago, one man lived with this question every single day. A man who carried the weight of an empire, who led armies across blood-stained fields, who buried friends, family, even children, yet never surrendered to fear. That man was Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, the last of the 5 good emperors of Rome, a ruler who stood at the crossroads of power and mortality, writing quietly in the pages of his meditations, reminding himself, and us, that death is not the end to fear, but a teacher to embrace. This is not just the story of a Roman emperor. It is the story of how to live, how to face the silence of eternity with courage, and how to find peace in the one truth that unites us all. We are mortal. Marcus Aurelius was not just a ruler. He was a paradox, a warrior and a philosopher, a man of immense power who sought humility, a leader of millions who wrote only for himself. Born in 121 amperes D, Marcus was never meant to be ordinary. From a young age, he was drawn not to luxury or games, but to philosophy, to discipline, to the pursuit of wisdom. And yet fate placed the crown upon his head. At the height of Rome's power, he became emperor, commanding the largest empire the world had ever seen. But unlike other rulers intoxicated by glory, Marcus carried his throne as a burden. He fought wars on distant frontiers. He watched a plague sweep across his empire. He endured betrayal, loss, and the endless weight of duty. In the solitude of tents, beneath cold stars on the battlefield, he turned to his journal, writing words not meant for history, but for his own soul. Those words became meditations. Not a book of commands, not a record of conquests, but a quiet reminder to himself to live with virtue, to master his mind, and to face death without fear. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, yes, but more than that, he was a man who showed us how to live while never forgetting that life is fleeting. Today, death has become a shadow we refuse to look at. We hide it behind hospital walls. We soften it with gentle words. We distract ourselves with endless noise, all to avoid the truth we cannot escape. Our culture worships youth, chases beauty, promises immortality through medicine, technology, and even through the illusion of digital lives that never end. But deep inside, we remain terrified. Terrified of wrinkles, terrified of illness, terrified of the silence that one day awaits us all. And this fear does not make us stronger. It makes us restless. It keeps us running in circles, consuming, chasing, competing, as if more possessions, more likes, more achievements could shield us from our mortality. The tragedy is this: by fearing death, we forget how to live. We hold back our love. We postpone our dreams. We waste precious hours on anger, jealousy, resentment, as if time were infinite. But it is not. Every heartbeat is borrowed. Every sunrise is a gift. And still, most of us pretend we will live forever, never daring to face the truth that Marcus Aurelius embraced with calmness and clarity. Lesson 1. Death is natural. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." For him, death was not a curse. It was not an accident. It was not a punishment. It was nature. As natural as the rising sun, as certain as the falling rain. Look at the world around you. Every tree blossoms and withers. Every river flows and eventually disappears into the sea. Every star burns bright, only to fade into darkness. And so it is with us. We are part of the same cycle, the same eternal rhythm of birth, change, and return. Marcus believed that to fear death is to fear the very order of the universe. And what is the point of fighting the inevitable? The leaf does not resist the autumn wind. The wave does not cling desperately to the ocean's surface. Why should we resist what is woven into the fabric of life itself? When we see death for what it truly is, not a thief, not an enemy, but a completion, a return, then fear begins to dissolve. And in its place comes something else. Calm, acceptance, a quiet strength that whispers, I too am a part of nature, and when my time comes, I will return to it. Lesson 2. Live each day fully. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, and say, and think. Imagine waking up with those words echoing in your mind, not as a threat, but as a call to live. Because when we remember how fragile life is, suddenly, everything becomes more vivid. The sunrise is no longer ordinary. It is a miracle. The smile of a loved one is no longer routine. It is priceless. Even the smallest acts, a kind word, a gentle touch, a moment of gratitude, become treasures that will never return once the day is gone. Most of us live as if tomorrow is guaranteed. We postpone our joy. We delay our dreams. We wait for the perfect time that never comes. But Marcus knew the truth. The future is not promised. Only this moment belongs to us. So why waste it on anger? Why drown it in envy? Why bury it under endless distractions? To live each day fully is not about chasing pleasure or collecting possessions. It is about being present, fully awake, fully alive, right here, right now. When you accept that death may come at any moment, life is no longer something to take for granted. It becomes sacred. It becomes urgent. It becomes enough. Lesson 3. Death as liberation. To Marcus Aurelius, death was not only natural, it was also a kind of liberation. Think about it. All the weight we carry, the worries, the pain, the endless duties, the noise of ambition, the battles of pride and ego, death releases us from them all. He wrote that when life ends, we do not vanish into nothing. We simply return, like a drop of rain falling back into the vast ocean, like a spark of fire dissolving into the night sky. Death is not a prison. It is a door, a quiet passage through which we step back into the rhythm of the universe. For Marcus, this thought was not frightening. It was comforting. It gave him strength to endure hardship, to carry his crown with humility, to meet suffering without despair. Because if death is a release, then life, no matter how heavy, is bearable. Every struggle becomes temporary. Every sorrow has an end. And when the final moment comes, we are not losing everything. We are simply laying it down. We are returning home. To see death this way is to loosen our grip on fear, to live more freely, and to step into each day with a heart unburdened. Marcus Aurelius did not escape death. He did not conquer it. He simply met it with calmness. Through plagues, through wars, through betrayal and loss, he returned again and again to one truth. Death is certain, but fear is optional. And perhaps this is his greatest gift to us. Not an empire, not victories carved in stone, but a way of seeing, a way of living that transforms death from an enemy into a teacher. So ask yourself, if death is guaranteed, why not live with courage? Why not love without hesitation, forgive without delay, act with wisdom today? Every breath you take is already slipping into the past. Every heartbeat is one you will never hear again. This is not a reason for despair. It is a reason for gratitude. It is a reason to rise, to live, to shine. Memento Mori. Remember, you will die, but let that memory awaken you. Let it strip away the trivial. Let it ignite your soul to live with depth, with honor, with peace. Because in the end, to face death with calmness is not about how we die. It is about how we choose to live.